Welcome to the Wed Pro Podcast, the podcast for Wed Pros no matter their stage. We are your hosts, Katie and Roxy, and this is the Wed Pro Podcast.
Hi and welcome back to the Wed Pro Podcast. I'm Katie.
And I'm Roxy, and today we're talking about something that's quietly reshaping how wedding businesses get found online. And trust us, this is something you do not want to ignore.
Yeah, whether you're a cake designer, photographer, florist, maybe you're a venue owner, the way your couples are finding you is changing fast. And we actually spoke about this in a couple of podcasts ago, didn't we? About like the different kind of phases that we're kind of going into. So if your inquiries have slowed down or your website traffic has dipped, don't worry, you're not imagining it.
It might not be your content, it might be Google, or more specifically, our favourite tool, AI.
And today we're going to be explaining what's changing with search and why it matters in terms of AI and what you can do now. And we definitely implore you to do it now for you to be able to future-proof your visibility. And don't worry, we're going to keep this episode as jargon-free as possible and super, super practical for you guys.
Okay, let's get straight into it. So, Katie, let's start with the basics. What's happening with Google and AI that wedding suppliers need to know about?
Okay, so some of you may have already seen this already on your Google. I know that I've got it. I think you probably have it as well, Roxy. And Google is rolling out what is called AI Overview. And basically, instead of showing people a list of website links, it's giving users kind of a pre-written summary of the answer to their question pulled from across the internet. So it's that bit right at the top in Google that's like, it's pulled from multiple sources from the internet instead of you having to go into an actual website.
So what this means is if a bride was to search best wedding venues in Surrey, she might not even have to scroll down to their actual websites. Is that right?
Yeah. So what'll happen is, and you've probably seen this on your own Google, you get a neat little paragraph summarizing options, and now you don't even have to click a link. So here's where the sticking point is for businesses. If your business isn't showing up in those summaries, it's going to be super, super harder for you to get noticed and much, much easier for you to be invisible.
I find that it's great, but also very terrifying. So it's not just about ranking anymore. Is that right?
No.
Right.
However, we've been going on about some of these kind of things for a really long time. It's just how we tweak it. So now it's becoming more about being the kind of source that AI trusts and pulls from. It's about being credible, helpful, and clear. And we've been talking about this in terms of your content for, the best part of 10 years now, haven't we? So not too much is changing. And if you're somebody that has been putting out valuable, credible, very clear content, just with a few tweaks, we can be beating this curve. But if you're somebody that hasn't been doing that, now is the time to start that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, like you say, with anything as well, we need to move with the times. And this is one of those things. It's like when TikTok came out, and that was like the big thing. Like we have to move with the times. And it's exactly the same with AI. Okay, let's get practical. What are the top 3 things that wedding pros should be doing to stay visible in this new AI world?
Okay, so great question. And here are the real big 3 things. So first of all, ensure that you're creating really specific, but also really helpful content. Okay, second, this is a new kind of little phrase. We talk about know, like, trust, KLT, quite often, but AI really pulls on something called EEAT, and it's about you nailing this. It's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, that's not too easy to say, is it? And trustworthiness. So experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And finally, making sure that you're optimizing your Google business profile and your local SEO as well. So, some things are changing, and some things it's just about doing what you've always done. So it doesn't need to be super, super scary.
I like the EEAT. I just call it eat. Eat.
EAT.
Yeah.
EAT. I like that.
Okay. So I think it'd be helpful if we broke it down a little bit further. So first up, let's have a little chat about content.
Okay, so you want to be going beyond generic phrases that you might have been using in kind of your SEO terms before and in your content before. So going beyond phrases that you might use like wedding florist Manchester. But you want to reverse engineer it really and think about what your couples actually search and what they're actually typing, but also voice searching. And the way that we search via AI is absolutely different to the way that you were searching Google. It's much more conversational. So thinking about what your couples are actually typing, actually searching in that kind of conversational style. So maybe instead of wedding florist Manchester, having things like elegant wildflower bouquets for barn weddings in Cheshire. Those real long tail keywords. Natural documentary wedding photographer for TP weddings in Derbyshire. And this is what we call long tail keywords. They're more specific, but they're also more powerful.
Let's have a look at the second one of the big three, the EAT. I know it sounds fancy.
The big four. The big four.
The big four. Sorry, I thought it was the big three. So I'll do that bigger.
No, sorry, it was my fault because it was 1, 2, 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about breaking down EAT.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was my fault.
So let's chat about number 2 of the 3 that you spoke about, the EEAT. Now, it does sound a little bit fancy pantsy, doesn't it? But what does it actually mean?
Okay, so it's basically proving that you're the real deal and really building that trust, showing your experience, probably how you already are doing, but there's just going to be more weight on this sort of stuff going forward. So showing your experience through testimonials, also case studies as well. Case studies, you can really go into a lot more detail and you can also pull out a lot of storytelling and emotion in the way that you're writing that. But also proving your expertise through helpful blogs, videos, YouTube. You want to be showing authority by being featured or working with well-known venues and PR. It's really about building trust with clear contact information and an up-to-date site so that these AI crawlers, AI bots, I was on a call with one of our clients a couple of weeks ago and we were like delving into her analytics, and AI bots are actually already crawling your sites. So it's having these things in place on your sites that when AI bots are crawling them, your information can be included in that kind of initial part on Google overview right at the top.
And then let's talk about the third one that you spoke about, and that is optimizing your Google My Business profile, which if you haven't got one, please, because I still speak to people who have not got a Google business profile. Like, come on, guys, get yourself into the modern ages. Most people have got them, but some people do not. But those that do, barely anyone updates these.
Yeah, and it's actually something that probably, we've been updating ours, well, I've been updating ours probably once a month for the past sort of 2 to 3 years, but it's something that really I need to incorporate into the content strategy a little bit better. And honestly, it is one of the most underused tools. So the people that come into our programs, we do a whole module on Google My Business, don't we? Where we teach you, well, it's Google Business now. It used to be Google My Business, your Google Business profile. And we talk you through what you can do in order to help you rank higher on Google. So things like updating your description, but in the best possible way, listing your services, adding new photos regularly is really important, and asking past couples to leave testimonials and reviews for you as well. AI pulls from your Google business profile when recommending businesses locally. So it's definitely something for you to be kind of updating at least, I'd say once a week, to be honest, if you can. But as we always say, quality content is better than the quantity. So if you don't have anything new to say, don't worry if you give it a couple of weeks and you miss a few. However, definitely you want to be making sure that you're doing this once a month, if not once a fortnight.
So what you're saying here with this one is that just by updating that one thing, that could boost visibility for people.
Yeah, especially in the wedding industry, you know, like anybody that's kind of local based, venues, planners, florists, makeup artists, most of us are really kind of location based, aren't they? So yeah, absolutely. That's something easy
Really
that you've
easy.
probably got in your business already, but just make sure that you're optimizing it for the best possible results for you.
Get that one on your to-do list, guys. So let's have a chat about taking a little bit of action. And if someone's listening to this and feeling a little bit overwhelmed, what's one thing they could do this week?
Okay, so I would say sit down and Google your business like a potential client or a potential couple would. Maybe typing in relaxed wedding photographer, Shropshire, or luxury wedding cakes near me and see what shows up. I would recommend you do this in an in-private browser because the way that your browsers will work, it will store cookies, it will know the sites that you go to regularly. It will, if you're somebody that's visiting your own site quite regularly, it quite often gives you a bit of a skewed results of where you actually rank. So do this from an in-private browser and then Google your business like your couple would, like your client would. See what then shows up. And that's going to give you a real accurate representation of where actually you are. Are you there? Are your competitors there? And then this is going to help you to understand what you need to tweak.
That is really such a good tip. And, you know, we do say all the time, like, look at your business through the eyes of your client.
Yeah.
Because that gives you a much more clear indication of what is going on. I think we should talk about Instagram too, because it feels like every time I post with a link or every time we do that, our reach goes, no.
Yeah, this is another handy little bit of kit and handy little bit of AI that, you know, it's just changing the game. And really, this podcast really is about tweaking. And if we kind of think back to kind of business sort of 40 years ago, we had like the invention of the internet and people kind of felt like, oh, that's not going to go anywhere. Then social media came along and it was like, oh, no, it's fine. That's not going to go anywhere. And now we mentioned this on a podcast a few weeks ago that we're going into kind of a new phase of marketing, which is going to be AI. And it's kind of everywhere from planning tools to Instagram to content writing to the way that, you know, we're searching things is all being influenced now by AI. And I don't want you to think that your couples aren't using it. Maybe you're somebody that doesn't use it yourself that often. And I think this is something that we see quite often come up in people's mindset, isn't it? That if they're not using something or they're not paying a certain price for something, is this assumption that other people aren't. And I just want you to kind of squash that mindset for a second if you're somebody that's listening to this and kind of resonating and haven't even really thought about it. You might have particular views about AI, you might have particular views about these tools that are out there, but you're running a business and some of the time you have to put your CEO hat on and think, what would the CEO of my business do? So it's absolutely true now that it's not a new piece of information for us to sit and tell you that Instagram likes you to stay inside of the app. It doesn't like you taking people away from the app. It can squash your algorithm. So even put in the words, you know, link in bio. You may have seen people try and like cheat that a little bit by maybe changing one of the letters for a number to see if it can kind of cheat the algorithm. But it's very, very, very smart. But ManyChat can really help you with this. So it's a tool that helps you automate your Instagram DMs. So instead of putting a link in a post, which typically does, well, it doesn't typically does, the evidence is out there, the data is out there, that will squash your reach.
And the link won't be clickable in a post anyway, so don't do
No, or telling them, you know, link in bio or link in stories, whatever. You can ask them to just comment cake below or comment a keyword below, and ManyChat will automatically message them with information or links, and it starts a conversation in the DMs as well. So I love this strategy for a number of reasons, and we use this on the daily inside of our
every
business
day. Yeah.
because it encourages engagement and comments on your post, which is going to tell the algorithm that your content is getting lots of engagement. So it's going to push it out to more people. It keeps people inside of the app, which Instagram likes as well.
Yeah.
And the third thing as well is it opens up conversations in the DMs. And, you know, you're not selling on Instagram, you're selling during conversations, right? So we need to get those conversations started. So this is why we absolutely love ManyChat, don't we?
We do. And it's so clever and it's such a time saver. And like you said, it's about nurturing people.
Yeah.
And, you know, let's work smarter here, not harder. And this is one of those tools that if you're even like on the fence, I would go and check it out because it can really help you gain bookings, basically. Because if you can nurture straight in your DMs, then you can, you know, get them on a call, have a chat. Like loads of clients like potentially coming your way just from this one tool. It's great.
And it's such a time saver as well. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, you hit the nail on the head there where you said, you know, in terms of just getting that conversation started, you know, how many other wedding businesses are gonna go to that and use this kind of strategy? So it's like having your own little assistant working 24/7 in your business. You know, it doesn't matter if someone's commenting on your post at 10 p.m. at night, you're capturing that person when they are in that interested,
in that moment.
Yeah, I'm ready to book, I'm ready to have this conversation phase. I want more information rather than, you know, you not getting to your Instagram comments till 7 a.m. the next morning or 2 o'clock the next afternoon. And that moment's kind of gone for people. So, you know, it is absolutely amazing. And we have got a free trial for ManyChat Pro just for our lovely listeners. And even if you try it out and you only use it to build out your automations and then you downgrade later, it is totally worth it for sure.
100%, especially if you're trying to get more inquiries in your DMs, you know, without living in them. It's like you just said there, they get that instant hit. Like they want something, you can deliver it straight away. No wait until the next day, and it will really, really help you get more.
Yeah, I think that's one things that I love about it. It captures people like in that moment where they are intentional about reaching out. And you know, studies do show that when we have dips in communication and we have dips or gaps in contact, that kind of the excitement factor kind of goes down, doesn't it? And then, you know, and this is why, you know, it's not just about having ManyChat automations in your business or a DM kind of strategy, but also we look at other ways that we can do this in terms of email marketing as well. But let's just recap on today's episode. AI search is here, and you know, even if you're not using it yet, personally, it is changing how couples are going to find you. So please do not be the blockbusters who saw Netflix come in and thought, I'm not going to do anything about it, or the people that thought, oh yeah, people are never going to book taxis through an app. You know, we all do that now. You don't want to be that kind of person. So we're letting you know that it's here and it's changing how the couples are going to find you. So please put in the work now so that future you and future CEO you is really going to thank you for that as well. Focus on that helpful content. What are you saying? E80? I'm going to call it EAT.
EAT?
EAT. It sounds like
EAT.
I'm going to say that word for Michelle. I know Michelle will go, yet. My kids would cringe.
Oh no, my kids will be like, oh mum, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yet. Focus on helpful content and your Google profile as well. We've been bashing on about this. We've got trainings inside of our programs on exactly how to do that. And use tools like ManyChat and go and get that free pro trial. Go and set everything up using that and using the automations that can help you to stay ahead and save time.
If this episode gave you that, oh my God, I need to go and sort my visibility out feeling, you are not alone, so don't worry, but don't panic. Just start small, take little action, and keep tuning into this podcast.
Yeah, and it is about that, isn't it? It is about small moves every day. This is what we see. The businesses that make the most leaps, they don't just wake up and everything fell into place, as much as it can sometimes look like that on socials. It's all the tiny little steps. So, you know, exactly what you said there. Keep taking action, keep showing up, start small. Those small moves kind of do add up. But if you are somebody that is wanting help with anything that we've talked about today, whether it's visibility, content, setting up your marketing the right way, and future proofing your business so that the marketing that you've done in the past and the marketing that you're doing right now is going to get you found online. And this is exactly what we do day in, day out, don't we, Roxy? So drop us a DM or check out the link in the show notes where you can start a conversation with us and we'll hop on a call and see how we can help you inside of your business.
That's it. We actually are very active in our Instagram and we would love to have a chat with you. Thank you so much for listening to the Web Pro podcast today. Don't forget to hit the follow and share this episode with your wedding biz bestie, especially the ones who keep moaning about their algorithm. Like, hit them up with this episode.
Yeah. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. I know it's been a little bit heavy today, but hopefully we broke that down in the best way possible for you. Please feel free to let us know. Drop us a little message on Instagram and let us know what you thought about this episode. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wed Pro podcast. Full transcribes of this episode, plus every other episode we have done, are available at www.theweddingbusinesshub.com/blogs. Thanks so much for listening. If you do have any questions about this episode or anything else at all, you can email us at info@theweddingbusinesshub.com. And if you are loving our episodes, which I know you are, make sure you hit the subscribe or follow button so you can stay updated with any new episodes that land. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.